The Sonora Desert along the Arizona-Mexico border is a deadly place. Over the past decade, nearly 2,000 men, women, and children died while trying to cross the border into Arizona. The Coalición de Derechos Humanos keeps a record of the migrants who lose their lives during this journey. That's Isabel Garcia's group. Since last October, at least 50 bodies have been found. No More Deaths is an organization and humanitarian advocacy group that was founded in 2004 as a response to the growing number of deaths along the border. They operate along the Arizona-Mexico border here, providing water, food, and medical assistance to migrants walking through the desert. We're joined right now by Dan Millis. He's a volunteer with No More Deaths. Last year, in February of 2008, he found the body of a 14-year-old girl from El Salvador in the southern Arizona desert. 2 days later, as he was leaving gallon-sized sealed jugs of water along the same migrant trails, he was ticketed for littering by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. He refused to pay the $175 fine and fought the littering ticket misdemeanor charge on the grounds that humanitarian aid is not a crime. Well, a district court has just denied his appeal last month, stating, quote, "The court finds the water jugs left in the refuge constitute garbage." Dan Millis is joining us now, usually here in Tucson, but now in Washington, D.C. for a meeting. Welcome, Dan, to Democracy Now!
Hi.
Hi, it's good to have you with us. Can you describe exactly what happened last February? How did you find the body of this dead teenager?
Well, Amy, what happened was we were actually walking along in the area of the migrant trails in order to leave out some water and some food and some medical supplies on the trails like we normally do. And we just stumbled upon her. Came around the corner and there she was. And I can't tell you what a horrible experience that is, to see a little 14-year-old girl who died in the desert by herself.
So explain what you did when you found her body.
Well, we followed our No More Deaths protocol, which is to call the Pima County Sheriff's Office and have them come to the location where we were and identify the body and take her to the medical examiner's office. But it took them a long time to get out there. This is a very remote area. And actually, through working with Isabel Garcia's group, Derechos Humanos, we were able to figure out who this girl was, because there was already a missing persons report out for her. And they had been looking for her for about 3 weeks, is about how long she had been missing for when we found her.
Can you explain where she was from, why she was just over the border from Mexico and Arizona?
Well, Jocelyn was from El Salvador. She was 14 years old, and she was crossing the border with a group of migrants and with her 10-year-old little brother, and they were going to California to be reunited with their mother who lives there. She became sick after probably drinking some dirty water or perhaps just running out of water and becoming dehydrated. This is a very rugged area. She was down in the bottom of a canyon and had probably already crossed a mountain range or two before getting to that point, about 15 to 20 miles north of the Mexico-U.S. line. So when she became ill, she fell behind the group. I'm told that she encouraged her little brother to keep going because he needed to make it to meet their parents. And her little brother did make it, as did the rest of the group to our knowledge, but Jocelyn did not.
So, Dan, can you explain what you then did 2 days later?
Well, 2 days later, I was on another routine humanitarian aid run, obviously very motivated that day and very determined that our life-saving work was very necessary in this area. And we were putting out water along migrant trails so that people like Jocelyn, who are in dire straits, can find some clean, safe water to drink. And they're just gallon water jugs. They're sealed. They're just clean, pure drinking water. We leave it on the trails, and we pick up any trash that we find. That was the real ironic thing about this littering citation, is we had actually picked up more trash that day than water jugs that we had left out.
So you have been charged with littering for those jugs?
That's correct.
And take it from there, what happened?
Well, the officers gave me the littering citation, which we fought, as you mentioned, in federal court. And upon losing the initial judgment, we appealed to the district court, and unfortunately the conviction was upheld. Now, the interesting thing about this conviction was that they gave me a guilty sentence, but no punishment whatsoever. So I didn't have to serve the 6 months jail time that I was looking at. I didn't have to pay the $5,000 maximum fine. I didn't even have to pay the $175 ticket. So we feel this is a very passive-aggressive ruling, very absurd, much like the rest of the situation along the U.S.-Mexico border.
But now the littering fine has been upheld.
No, only the conviction. The fine itself was suspended. It's a suspended sentence. So again, the government is saying humanitarian aid is a crime for which no punishment is warranted. And it's very hard to navigate the waters of border policies like that.
We're going to go to break, then come back to this discussion, talking about the human impact of the border policies today. And then we're going to also look at the environmental impact. And Millis is with us. He's with No More Deaths. And Isabel Garcia is with us here in Tucson at PBS station KUAT. We're on the road. Stay with us.